your property taxes get frozen at the pre-rehabilitation rate. So you're putting money into your home, you're investing money into your home, increasing the value, but you won't be taxed at that new higher rate that you made your house for.
Awesome. So
looking up, my desires are on sight. Gotta keep grinding, make sure that it lasts forever, not only one night.
Hey everyone, what's up? It's Noah from Cola REI, Famously Hot Real Estate Group. And if you're flipping houses or you're investing in real estate in Columbia, South Carolina, you're going to want to watch this video. And as you know, guys, our market, we call it Famously Hot because there's so many cool things about this area, so many special neighborhoods that make Columbia special. And I was talking to someone recently. He said, hey, look, I'm coming down. I want to check out Columbia. I'm thinking about moving there. You know, where do you recommend? What areas? I said, well, what are you looking for? And they said, well, I don't want the cookie cutter, new construction type of neighborhood. You know, I want to be able to capture the essence of Columbia, right? I want the, what's the word I'm looking for? The Southern charm that Columbia has that you keep talking about, right? I want to be, you know, the Soda City type of thing. And I said, well, look, we'll take a drive. We'll take a drive. We'll cruise over the bridge and we'll take a little left, go down Park Street or Park Ave and cruise through Earlwood, make our way up to Elmwood Park, let the kids get out, play at the playground a little bit, hop across the street, maybe grab a coffee at Curiosity Coffee or lunch at the across the street at the was it WarHog or something like that. And then we'll go through Cotton Town, backtrack a little bit, maybe do a selfie at Finley Park by the governor's mansion, cruise up Gervais, you know, take a right on Millwood, maybe show them that area, show them Melrose Heights, Old Shandon, University area, right? There's so many cool neighborhoods here in Columbia, South Carolina. And for a real estate investor, for us, it's like an investor's paradise. There's so much opportunity. But what a lot of people don't know is that every single one of those neighborhoods I just mentioned, and then some, have something in common. And that's that those are historical districts. Those are historical neighborhoods. And maybe, just maybe, some of the houses that you're thinking about buying or some of the houses that you're currently renovating or about to start renovating could qualify for some really cool tax strategy, tax abatements because of the neighborhoods that they're in. And I'm not an expert in it. So what I did is I went out and found one. I found the expert in it, and she works for the city of Columbia. She's a preservation planner, and I can't wait to get her on to talk about what's known as the Bailey Bill. So without further ado, we're going to welcome to the big show, Rachel Walling. All right, here we go. Rachel, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for joining us and making the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, you know, the Bailey Bill is something, honestly, I didn't know existed. And I'm kind of kicking myself because there's a couple properties that come to mind where I was like, gosh, I wish I would have done that. Why didn't I do that? So for someone that's hearing about this for the first time, or maybe they've heard of it before, but they aren't really sure what it is or how it could help them, whether it's a homeowner buying a house or a real estate investor that's thinking about maybe fixing it up and flipping it or fixing it up and keeping it. What is the Bailey Bill and how does it help people?
Yeah, so the Bailey Bill is a preservation tax incentive. So we're looking at historic properties, historically designated. So within all those historic districts you were just mentioning, we have thousands of parcels that might qualify for the Bailey Bill. So if you have a historic building and you invest a certain amount of money into that building through certain types of expenses, again, it's preservation. So this is not, you know, updating and adding, you know, a second story onto the house or something like that. It's maintaining the character of the house, but also, you know, being able to update HVAC, electricity, and things like that you may need to update after, you know, 50, 60 years. So if you invest a certain amount of money into the property, your property taxes get frozen at the pre-rehabilitation rate. So you're putting money into your home, you're investing money into your home, increasing the value, but you won't be taxed at that new higher rate that you've made your house worth.
Awesome. So, and that's so that whatever the tax value is today, or maybe we can go through like what the steps are to start this process. I have some slides put together for that. We can lock in what the taxable value of the home for how long?
So it's a 20-year abatement. So
20
yeah,
years.
it's a pretty long time. And for people who do want to flip properties and use the Bailey bill, it's transferable with the sale of the property. So it's a good selling point for selling the house, because you say, hey, this house, I have a nice new addition, a master bedroom, it's completely ready, but your taxes are only going to be here instead of up here. So it's a nice selling point even if you're not living in the home.
Oh my God. So yeah. So guys, if you're offering a property and there's one next door and they're identical square footage, but you went through the steps and did it the right way and have the Bailey bill incentive, you could probably sell the house for a premium, I imagine, maybe a little bit more than the one next door that didn't do that.
Yeah. And two, I mean, it's not retroactive. So you have to do it first thing. So if you renovate the home, like, to the nines, you do it perfectly and beautifully, and it sells for a lot. That's great. But the next homeowner is not going to be able to take advantage of the Bailey bill, because there's not going to be that much money to invest.
They can't go back and say, hey, this happened. Can you fit? Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I mentioned a couple of like my favorite neighborhoods and some of the places where we have property and have some projects going currently. And here's the 15 historical districts. And I imagine there's like pockets within those neighborhoods too, correct?
So those are the 15 historic districts. And then we also have individual landmark buildings.
Oh, okay.
Those are spread out throughout the whole city. So you can't really put those on a map because they're individual buildings here and there. But all of those qualify for the Bailey bill too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Super cool. So I got a couple slides off of your website, and I'll give everybody your website and your contact information too, of like trying to figure out, hey, what qualifies, what doesn't qualify. Because this is a huge, guys, if we're talking about cash flow, if you're talking about buying a house and keeping it for the next 20 years, and you're using the BRRR method, right, which is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and then repeat, do it again. This is huge because it's going to keep your expenses lower and essentially increase your cash flow over the long haul, right? So break down some of these definitions for us. So if you're wanting to become more familiar with how this works, why is knowing these bullet points important?
Yeah, so the Design Development Review Commission is our architectural review board. So some cities have a BAR, a Board of Architectural Review. We have the DDRC here. So anything, a lot of work that we do from staff level, we have to pass through DDRC level. So they have to give it like the final stamp of approval. So the Bailey bill is one of those things. They have to approve the Bailey bill for preliminary certification before work is started. Got it.
And so once you have the preliminary certification, you have like a time frame of when you have to get the work done.
Right. So yeah, preliminary certification is kind of your start date. Anything that you do before that wouldn't really qualify. But once you get that stamp of approval from the DDRC, that preliminary certification, then you have 2 years to meet the investment threshold.
Got it. And that investment threshold, how much is the investment threshold?
That is 20% of the building value. So a building may be valued at $100,000. The whole property may be valued at, $200,000. I'm not sure. It just depends on the particular property. So, but you're not looking at the 200,000 mark. You're looking at just the 100,000.
Oh my God, that's not even that much.
A lot of times it isn't. A lot of times it's pretty easy to meet that threshold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Couple other things. This is for both commercial and residential, correct?
It is. So a lot of the buildings that you see being renovated on Main Street.
Yeah.
Almost all of them. I can't really think of any that aren't, but most of them are doing the Bailey bill. So they're doing the Bailey bill as well as National Register tax credits, which we don't administer, but that's another way to get some extra cash there.
All right, cool. Yeah. And I think for like most of us, like as far as like real estate, because this group is mostly made up of like real estate investors and agents and professionals, which by the way, I think it's so important that, and one of the reasons why we talked about doing this is I think it's so important for us to work together.
Oh yeah.
And I always talk about revitalizing communities and neighborhoods and not just one house, but in preserving it. right? And if we can work together, it creates the win-win. I just think you're a great resource, and more people need to know your name and how we work together. So thank you again for doing this.
Yeah, definitely. We always like to have these kinds of relationships to reach out to as many people as possible, because we definitely need to understand where the other's coming from and to make sure everybody is getting what they need.
Yeah, I would say probably that last bullet point down there is the broadest brush. Is that right? Most likely.
It is, yeah. So we have a lot of properties within our historic districts, and as you mentioned, we have 15 of those spread out throughout the city. National Register districts, there's a few of those. Main Street is one of those National Register districts, which is why you're seeing all those buildings down there being renovated.
Yeah.
All those buildings qualify because they're part of the National Register of Historic Places.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It has to be considered historic, either at the national or local level.
Got it. Okay. All right. And then eligible expenses, like let's cover that a little bit. You know, what would be an eligible expense that you could add to the total to help you meet that criteria, and what is commonly missed or mistaken?
So I mean, it is a preservation incentive, so the focus is on repairing historic and original features. A lot of people have windows that need to be repaired. That's something that's always great. One thing that some people don't always do is storm windows. Storm windows are always great to add to the house. They add thermal comfort, energy efficiency. So those are always great, and those can always be approved in historic districts. But things that a lot of people end up doing, which a lot of times meets the threshold right away, is things like roofing, HVAC, electrical updates, plumbing updates. Every now and then there's a few properties that have had some pretty bad structural issues, and that hits the 20% right there, because that can be pretty pricey.
Oh yeah.
So it's good to get the Bailey bill in ahead of time when you're first getting into the property and finding what might need to be done, so that you can get all that to qualify towards the Bailey bill.
Okay. All right, cool. I always thought about that with the windows thing, right? Because like you want to preserve the windows, like the wooden windows, right? Or but then you could add the storm window to that to help you with the energy efficiency and things like that, which is good.
The storm windows tend to have a really good return on investment as far as energy efficiency, because they're cheaper than replacing windows, but they have a similar kind of energy efficiency level.
Yeah.
Looking at that.
Cool. Okay. And what's like some common missed repairs?
Missed repairs?
Well,
what do you mean by that?
People do it and they're like, what expenses are not eligible, right? Just like at the top here. Anything on there worth mentioning?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things you can do in a historic district. You can build an addition on your house. You can change the interior of your home if you want to. Those are things. Interior of the homes we don't review. Additions we do review. So you just have to do it the right way. But unfortunately, those things don't count towards the Bailey bill thresholds. You can certainly do it, but it's not considered preservation related. So it's not protecting the envelope of the home, or it's not preserving a historic material or feature. So those aren't eligible, but again, it's something you can definitely do to your home.
Okay. Could there be like a combination where like you're doing a good amount of stuff that would qualify, but then let's say you had an addition as well, just the addition part wouldn't qualify, but with the other items, or is there no commingling?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, half the time when I have Bailey bill projects go through, the homeowners are also putting an addition on the back of their house. I mean, those go hand in hand all the time, because people are doing a big project all at once and trying to get everything done. So you do all the approvals at once, and it's done. And yeah, I just had one of those go through last month. So yeah, it happens all the time.
Okay, cool. How many of these you got running usually at the same time?
I mean, over the past decade, maybe we have maybe 180 now properties, which is way less than the number of buildings that qualify. So there's
how many qualify? You mentioned that earlier. I mean,
our historic districts have combined over 1,000 parcels, and then we have over 180 landmark buildings, and then even more in National Register districts, because we don't normally review those areas. So there's even more in there. So, I mean, probably a couple thousand buildings throughout the city.
Wow. So there's a lot of opportunity then. I mean, I see it in the neighborhoods, right? You see, like, as real estate investors, we look for like the diamond in the rough type of project and things like that. So that's super cool. All right. So we're going to play a little game. Can you play? Do you have time?
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, let's play a little game. It's called Does It Qualify? So I'm gonna go through some scenarios, and you just say yes, no, or maybe so. Got it?
Okay.
All right, let's do it. All right, here we go. Does it qualify? Does it qualify? All right, we're building up and adding a second story. What do you think? Does that qualify?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It's also something you probably can't do in a historic district to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, well, question: what's the difference between like a design district and a historical district? Is there a big? What's the? Because I was looking at the map and I have properties in design districts, and I was like,
Yeah, design districts they're urban design. So those we have a different planner for that. They're not considered historic properties.
Got it.
They're not by themselves. They may be a landmark building or something like that. But those districts are not historic districts. They're urban design, looking at more urban design related design.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Urban design related guidelines. Sorry.
Okay. All right. On to the next. Does it qualify? Does it qualify? Historic neighborhood, but the house was built in 1980. Does that qualify?
It would not. Right now, the 1980s are not considered historic buildings. I'm not really sure if we'll ever get to a point where they are considered historic buildings.
Okay, all right.
How long they'll last, but yeah.
I had to ask, and that I actually I'll admit I actually asked you that question. That was a real question that I emailed to you last week. Hey, you got to take a shot, right?
Yeah. I mean, we get those all the time. Yeah.
Okay, it's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. All right, not qualified. All right, here's the next one. All right, historic neighborhood. We're gonna redo the roof, electric, HVAC, plumbing. Would that possibly qualify?
It would possibly. It does depend on the house, because just because it's an historic neighborhood doesn't always mean it's a historic house. Just like with the 1980s house you just mentioned, but
Got it.
Those expenses would definitely qualify on a historic house.
Those expenses would qualify for the right house in the right spot of the neighborhood.
Yes, it would.
Okay. Hey, there's over 1,000 of them, right?
Yeah.
There's over 1,000.
There's a lot.
You never know. I think this is awesome. And really, this kind of changes how I look at property, right? If you hear the term driving for dollars, or getting to know the neighborhoods that you're invested in, and getting to know your streets and things like that. And I love being able to find a house, and then in the same neighborhood being able to find another one. And guys, if you can utilize this to your advantage to help make your properties more appealing on the sale side, or more appealing to your pocketbook if you're keeping it long term, it's a great option. If they have any questions, can they reach out to you, Rachel?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a lot of information to go through, and we're always happy to check and see if a property might qualify. So just shoot us an email and ask, and we can check pretty easily. Yeah.
Right, and that's the best place to reach you there.
That's it right there. Yep.
All right, and go follow them, right? As the kids say, that the handle is Cola Campus, right? So go give them a follow. It's pretty good. And then I love the website, the historical website that the city of Columbia has, and you got a lot of good resources there. So we listed them here, and you can take little tours of the neighborhoods and stuff, can't you? Like there's like all this cool stuff that you can do there.
Yeah, we're working on a lot of new resources, so we're always updating. So yeah, take a look at those, and hopefully something there will pique your interest.
That's awesome. So it seems like you've got one of the coolest jobs in the world. Do you just go look at cool old historical houses, and like you're living HGTV life right now, are you not?
Oh no. It's not always so easy, but I do love what I do. Yeah, I do.
And that's important. That's important.
It is. Very important.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. And Rachel, we meet once a month, It's called the REUP, and the next one's April 7th. I'll shoot you an invite if you want to come and meet our club, meet the group, and meet other real estate investors here in Columbia, and just grow your network. If you want, you're more than welcome to. I'll shoot you an invite too.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they'd be interested in asking questions, or?
I am. I mean, I'm emailing you, like, either me or my wife is emailing you like 3 times a week. So I imagine.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm happy to join.
Careful what you wish for. You might get all 100 people emailing you all the different addresses.
Well, investment is good. We like investment in our historic districts for sure.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to living the life, looking at cool houses. And if there's anything that we can do for you, please reach out and let us know. We'd love to get you on again. Maybe we do a walkthrough at one of our places. If we do a walkthrough together or something like that, we could do that. That'd be fun.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, cool. All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Rings on the front grill, raised a couple mil so I can make a deal. Now I'm feeling too trill, like it isn't real. Whether you in it for the love or the thrill, live life